I'll be talking to candidates from Oxford West and Abingdon. Today, it's the candidate from the National Health Action Party, Helen Salisbury. Welcome.
Hello.
Many of our audience may not even have heard of your party. What exactly do you stand for?
Okay, well, the National Health Action Party was formed in 2012 when the coalition government brought forward the Health and Social Care Act, which many doctors, nurses, paramedics and other concerned people felt was going to really, really undermine and possibly destroy the National Health Service. And we felt we needed to do something political to try and reverse that, to stand up to it.
This is the bill that David Cameron characterises as removing bureaucrats and sort of saving the NHS money.
Yeah.
Is that not accurate?
That's what they said, and also said handing the power over to GPs to decide what care was needed. Actually, it's not done that. It's led to it's huge reorganisation with lots and lots of layers of bureaucracy. But more than that, what it's done is it made it necessary for every time there's a new contract for that to go out to tender, to open up the NHS to private competition. And there's two things that are wrong with that. One is that it's incredibly wasteful, in that now they reckon we spend about 4.5 billion a year just on that market, on this whole process of putting things out to tender and getting bids and assessing the bids and the legal advice you need and that, and it's all really, really expensive. The second thing is that private companies, although they haven't taken a huge amount of the NHS work, they still do a minority. Where they have done it, they've done it badly and they've destabilised the rest of the NHS. There's no evidence that competition within the NHS helps with quality. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that quality is worse when things are done privately, and it's certainly not cheaper.
Labour tend to present themselves as the party of the NHS, and obviously founded the NHS, as you just mentioned. But you obviously don't agree with them on that.
They founded the NHS, and for that we're all profoundly grateful. They kind of lost it a bit in the period of New Labour. Alan Milburn, who was Health Secretary for a while, was very, very pro-privatisation, and he was one of the people who kind of put in the kind of restructuring of the NHS to free it up to be ready for a market, and he now works for various companies with big links to private healthcare. So he was a Labour minister. Patricia Hewitt, also Labour Health, is on the board of Bupa. So actually they don't have a clean record on this, and they also are responsible for one of the things that's crippling the NHS financially at the moment, which is the private finance initiative. And it was started under the Tories, but it was really promoted under Labour to try and keep the cost of building hospitals off the balance sheet. And it's ended up with kind of Wonga-style payday loans that we have to pay back to these big companies that now own our hospital estate and run it. You know, we're paying, I think the JR cost around 100, the new wing there cost 100 million to build. We're going to be paying back over $1 billion by the time we pay for it.
Yeah.
The Labour Party hasn't quite got the guts to say, let's stop that, let's renegotiate all these deals, and let's get rid of the private sector out of health. They are talking about capping how much private sector can earn in health, but we all know that many big companies are very good at showing that they don't make any profit. Somehow lots of money goes their way, but they manage to organise it so there's no profit. So actually saying we'll cap private sector profits at 5% probably isn't going to work. We need to do something a bit more radical than that.
Helen Salisbury, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't know whether I said the same things as I said last time, but
even better, probably.
You think so?
Yes.